We have an unhinged new announcement by Donald Trump. Here's the quick background. Remember when Trump was so embarrassed by a week of bad headlines between his fallout with Elon Musk and his unpopular budget bill stripping healthcare away from 14 million Americans, taking $300 billion in food assistance away, and exploding the deficit to the tune of trillions of dollars, that he sent ICE into Los Angeles to terrorize the community and then federalized the National Guard and called in the Marines to quell the protest that he himself incited? Just like he was desperate for a distraction then, he's back to the same antics now. Trump decided that he was somehow not getting enough attention and adulation, so he threw himself a $50 million birthday parade. It was supposed to solidify his strength and put him in the world's autocrat club alongside Xi and Putin and Kim Jong-un, and this is how that turned out. And so clearly, Trump needed to manipulate the news cycle into focusing on some shiny new object so that we wouldn't talk about his failed military parade, which explains this new post on Truth Social. Quote, "Our nation's ICE officers have shown incredible strength, determination, and courage as they facilitate a very important mission, the largest mass deportation operation of illegal aliens in history. Every day, the brave men and women of ICE are subjected to violence, harassment, and even threats from radical Democrat politicians, but nothing will stop us from executing our mission and fulfilling our mandate to the American people. ICE officers are herewith ordered, by notice of this truth, to do all in their power to achieve the very important goal of delivering the single largest mass deportation program in history. In order to achieve this, we must expand efforts to detain and deport illegal aliens in America's largest cities, such as Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, where millions upon millions of illegal aliens reside. These and other such cities are the core of the Democrat power center, where they use illegal aliens to expand their voter base, cheat in elections, and grow the welfare state, robbing good-paying jobs and benefits from hardworking American citizens. These radical left Democrats are sick of mind, hate our country, and actually want to destroy our inner cities, and they are doing a good job of it. There is something wrong with them. That is why they believe in open borders, transgender for everybody, and men playing in women's sports. And that is why I want ICE, Border Patrol, and our great and patriotic law enforcement officers to focus on our crime-ridden and deadly inner cities and those places where sanctuary cities play such a big role. You don't hear about sanctuary cities in our heartlands. I want our brave ICE officers to know that real Americans are cheering you on every day. The American people want our cities, schools, and communities to be safe and free from illegal alien crime, conflict, and chaos. That's why I've directed my entire administration to put every resource possible behind this effort and reverse the tide of mass destruction migration that has turned once idyllic towns into scenes of third world dystopia. Our federal government will continue to be focused on the remigration of aliens to the places from where they came and preventing the admission of anyone who undermines the domestic tranquility of the United States." Now, a few things to note here. First of all, if you think it's just a coincidence that Donald Trump immediately follows yet another embarrassment of a news cycle by ramping up his focus on immigration, the issue he polls best on, then you do not understand how Trump operates. His sole focus is optics, and if the optics aren't in his favor, he'll do whatever he can to change them. Second, he is outright politicizing this law enforcement agency. He admits here that the point of these raids is to hurt Democrats' political power, something he calls the Democrat Power Center, based on some absurd pretense that they're shipping in voters, which of course is insane, but that's beside the point. Republicans will wail on an endless loop about the weaponization of government, but the moment they get into power, that is precisely what they do. Just like at his embarrassment of a military parade, Donald Trump views ICE now as his personal army to execute on his political agenda against the Democrats. Third, notice how he writes, quote, "We must expand efforts to detain and deport illegal aliens in America's largest cities, such as Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York." Notice anything about all of those cities? All big blue cities in big blue states. Trump knows that his ICE raids are aggressively unpopular, and so he couldn't possibly subject any red states to his policies. That's only reserved for his political opponents. Red states will be shielded from the same kind of law enforcement that he inflicts on blue states, because this is about helping his and Republicans' political fortunes while exacting revenge on his enemies. And by the way, don't take my word for it as far as his unpopularity goes. Americans themselves are making it clear in this polling.
So immigration has been a strength for Donald Trump. That was why in the beginning of the week I said that Donald Trump wanted this fight. Maybe he shouldn't have wanted this fight. What are we talking about here? Let's take a look at the net approval rating for Donald Trump on immigration. You go back to June 1, he was at plus 4 points. Look at where he is now, minus 2 points in the aggregate. That is a drop of 6 points in only about 2 weeks' time. The only thing that's happened over the last 2 weeks is obviously Donald Trump's ramped up immigration hawkish agenda. And at least at this particular point, the American people are saying, no, we do not like that. And they have turned against the president on his core strength issue of immigration. He is now underwater on the issue that has been strongest for him.
And Trump knows how unpopular these moves are, which is why he's only looking to inflict them on his political opponents. New York, California, and Illinois are all run by Democrats. New York City, Los Angeles, and Chicago are all run by Democrats. He gets to kill two birds with one stone here, inflict pain on his enemies without rankling any feathers of those in his own party, and flaunt his authoritarian impulses. The reality is that when Donald Trump orders these ICE raids, he's not doing it because he's trying to solve a problem. He is doing it to create one. That is the point. That is the goal here. He is looking to sow chaos because that's the environment he thrives in, a point that Gavin Newsom made in our latest interview.
He flamed the fires. This is exactly what he wanted. This is what he intended by illegally acting to federalize the National Guard. We're going to be initiating a lawsuit first thing tomorrow morning. And it did exactly what we told his team it would do. It would inflame the anxiety, it would inflame the conditions. And the most important thing he can do if he wants this thing behind us is to rescind his order and to get back into some semblance of orderly life here that he created.
Well, you had mentioned if he wants to reduce tensions that he will rescind this order, but isn't that the issue at hand here, that he doesn't want?
No, he wants, I mean, he's literally created these conditions. He wants to exacerbate the problems. He completely colored them in. He overstated everything. He knowingly went in a reckless way, did something that's almost without precedent in our lifetime, unconstitutional, illegal, immoral, because he knew full well what would persist on the ground. His team knows that as well. And that's exactly what this is all about. This is Trump's mess. He created it. He knew full well what would happen if he did this. He offered no support, no counsel, no advice, no other consideration. He just acted in an immature manner in order to create the kind of problems that people are now witnessing on the streets.
In other words, Trump gets bad press because of his own unpopular actions, and in order to distract from that, he throws some red meat to the base by politicizing our law enforcement agencies to carry out an unpopular and illegal agenda that he knows will inflame tensions and cause a fight, precisely because it's the fight that he wants. When it feels like there is an insurmountable amount of chaos, that's not a bug, it is a feature of this administration, and he's looking to sow more of it right now. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.